Father and son are back, and today, guys, we're going to be talking about the entire season of Wanda Vision. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's kick it off, guys. Hey, all my women's out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, we are your host. I'm Mike Spider Slayer, and this is...
B.
That's right, guys. We are back for another episode of Father and Son Talk Comics, but today we're not talking about comics. We're talking about a series review of Wanda Vision, right? So we watched it week in, week out. We didn't want to do a weekly review. That would be kind of hard for us, but we decided that we wanted to do an overview and, wanted to talk to each other about certain things that happened in the show. So I thought it was actually a pretty good show overall. It was great to see a Marvel show back on screen again, even though it was on the small screen. Overall, did you like the show? Were you entertained at least?
Yes.
Okay.
That was really good.
Okay, so yes, Braden seemed like he liked it a lot. So we're going to be discussing some questions here. So guys, I want to hear in the comments below, what your favorite characters were, what your favorite moments were in the show, things like that. So here I go. I'm going to pick my son's brain and we're going to talk it with you guys here. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is, what did you think of the way the show was structured with the whole sitcom thing? Did you like that?
Yeah, it let it have a lot more mysteries and a lot more entertainment than just a regular Marvel movie or show, where it's just fighting or wandering around a special place. The sitcom allowed it to have a little more of a unique style.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, being that you're not too, you don't watch too many sitcoms, that didn't bother you, even though it was set in, a lot of it was set in, the 60s and 70s. That was okay for you?
Yeah, it was okay because, it was they both had magical powers and they were both characters that I knew well. So it made sense.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was different. It was original to, after you obviously watch the entire show, how it plays tribute to the whole sitcom situation. And just to let you guys know, there are spoilers. So if you haven't seen the show or the finale, I suggest that you go ahead and watch that show. All right, next question. Even though you like the whole sitcom thing, and I seem to enjoy it myself, do you think that it might be a turnoff for viewers? And was the show the right length of time, being that it was around roughly 30-minute show?
Well, I think that if you're going to watch the show, you have to kind of dedicate yourself to it, because the first 3 or 4 episodes are just a sitcom and nothing really starts happening until the 4th and 5th episodes. So if you're watching the first 4 episodes, a lot of people would stop watching right there.
Right.
Because nothing is really happening.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. I think some people are going to be turned off by it, especially if you're not a Marvel fan and you kind of don't know anything that's going on. I have physically talked to people that have said, I tried WandaVision and it's what is this weird, black and white show? This is all it's supposed to be? It's like Bewitched or the Brady Bunch or something. I'm like, no, you got to give it at least 4 episodes, But I'm kind of surprised, people would not get that after the first episode when it ended, when you saw them turn off a TV or whatever it was, and thinking that it was something a little bit more than that, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I think it was slow in the beginning and people want answers right away or some kind of hints or whatever it is. And if you're not vested in the Marvel movies, it definitely might be a turnoff for you. So I do agree, I'm kind of I understand where people are coming from. Do you think the time was right? 30-minute episodes was good?
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good amount of time. It didn't need to be super long.
I agree. I do agree, though, that these types of shows are actually better than on a movie screen because you have time to tell the actual story, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like not where you go into a movie theater and you watch it and then you sit there and you're like, oh man, this has got to be done in 2.5 hours. How are they going to wrap this up? Well, in a TV show, at least you can decompress the story a little bit, and you can actually sit there and tell your story without rushing. So that's what I like about it, you know. So that was cool. All right, so next question. What did you think about these commercials between the in between the episodes, especially like those first 3 or 4 episodes? What did you think about that?
So in the middle of each episode, there would be little commercials that are kind of like making fun of real commercials that you would see on an actual TV show, like antidepressants and stuff. I thought that those commercials were really good because everyone started figuring out about halfway through the show that each of those commercials had a meaning and some kind of significance to the story. So like the first one was a beeping toaster made by Stark Industries, which was, as a kid, Wanda was trapped next to a beeping Stark Industries bomb. And so that's what it was referring to.
Yeah. And then how about the yogurt one?
Yes, the yogurt one was apparently the kid was drying up because he was starving until he got the yogurt, which I'm pretty sure was foreshadowing for Agatha taking Wanda's powers in the final episode of the show.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. That was so funny. Kid's starving and then he becomes all, shriveled up and he dies, just like how Agatha would take away the powers, from her sisters and from Wanda as well in the show. So that's pretty cool, actually. So that's funny. So the commercials always hinted at something. There was always a lot of speculation, of what was going to possibly come in the future. People were grabbing these particular comic books thinking, oh, we might get this or we might get that, So that was kind of cool. All right. So the commercials were cool. Now let's go into the characters a little bit. So what did you think of Wanda? Obviously, she's the main character. Everything focuses around her and, of course, Vision. But what did you think about Wanda, the actress that played her, and things like that? Did you like her?
I did like Wanda in the show because it showed a lot of different characters' development. And you could see that she started losing control of her powers as the show went on. Mm-hmm. And so it can show you exactly what she can do with her powers that we had no idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're yet to see that. Like, in the movies, you always saw Wanda Maximoff, right? But you never saw the Scarlet Witch. And you got to see Wanda at a whole other particular level in this show, which made me love the character that much more. So really the show is, as much as it's about Wanda and Vision, it's really about the character growth of Wanda Maximoff. And I think it was wonderfully done. So loved it. And the special effects, what did you think of that? For a TV show, what did you think about the special effects in the show?
Special effects were really good.
Yeah, I agree. Especially like when they were in the hex and the magic and all that other stuff. I thought it was really good too. All right, so what did you think about Vision?
Vision was okay. He wasn't great.
But it's Vision. He's an android. There's only so much you can really do with him, Mm-hmm. It's kind of got that dry humor, and then it's just like, but, you get to see the relationship between those two. It's very genuine, Yeah. They understand each other, and you get to see, honestly, the love that Wanda has for him, and you can understand why she was in so much pain, because she's lost so much in her life, and that's why she created that hex.
I still think Vision as a character had no development, really. He
No.
basically just learned that he was fake, and that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, he was... Again, yeah, he's dead, So, but there was a way that they figured out a way to bring him back into the MCU. So you gotta give him credit there for that. All right, so what did you think? Let's go into some of the more supporting characters. What did you think about, like, Monica Rambeau? What did you think about her?
Well, Monica was good because, she turned into some extra superhero. and got a ton of random superpowers like slowing down bullets and being able to see radiation. So she was able to do a lot with her powers, but we didn't see her use her powers that much. But that's okay, because I think we'll see her do that in Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I could see that. I liked her. I wish I would have seen more of her. I thought that, honestly, by the time we got to the end of the show, that she would play a more serious role, right? It's like, oh, we got her as, you know, she developed her superpowers, and then she was just kind of there at the end. She did the one thing where she protected the boys, you know what I'm saying? But besides that, she really didn't do that much in there.
Yeah.
Right?
It was more like to introduce her character and then show off what she could do before probably giving her her own show and movie.
Right. What did you think about Wanda's kids?
Wanda's kids were pretty cool. At first, I didn't think much about them, or until ever. And then I saw a video that suggested that they could be Wiccan and Speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
From the comics.
Yeah,
to make the Young Avengers.
Yes.
A possibility in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely a possibility, and definitely when you see the end of the last episode with the final cut scene, it gives you hope that there may be like in a multiverse or something like that. So it makes you feel like, okay, well, these characters going forward, they're going to be there. And there were certain lines that were said that Wanda said, like, this is what you were born to do, you know, when they were taking down Sword and things like that. So I thought the kids were fine. I thought they were like a little comedy relief in there, and it added to that family dimension in the dynamic in that actual, in the actual show. All right, so let's talk about Jimmy Woo. So what did you think about Jimmy?
I think he was pretty funny, and that's about it. He was funny.
Yeah, he's in the comics as well. I think I'm trying to remember what he's doing right now. I think he's in control of like Agents of Atlas. I think that's what it is. I'm not 100% sure. Never been a huge, Jimmy Woo fan, but again, I thought that particular character would have a more prominent role. As the series went on, it seemed like him, Darcy, and Monica had a little bit less in the show than, as they were in the beginning, right? So, but he was there. I mean, he was all right. So I agree with you. So let's talk about, the big bad, Agatha. What'd you think about her as a villain?
Agatha was a really good twist villain, even though literally every person that was a Marvel fan predicted Agnes to be Agatha anyway. It was a good twist villain, and also a villain that isn't that well known, I don't think. That it was a good idea to add her into the story.
Yeah, no, I agree. Marvel tends to do that. They tend to put, people in their movies that maybe are not as popular, and you're like, oh, dang, all of a sudden this person makes this appearance, and then all of a sudden this becomes an A-list character, and everyone wants to buy their comic, and things like that. That's why people were banking on Mephisto making his appearance in this, because they're like, oh, we want Mephisto in here. But instead you get Agatha, and obviously Agnes, she was, as you watch the show, you obviously thought she was going to be something very important in this show, because she was in literally every episode, right? So pretty cool. I liked her as a villain. I thought she was fine. I loved how we get to see her character develop towards the end of the episode, end of the series. So it was good stuff there. All right, let's talk about, did we talk about Darcy yet? No, so let's talk about Darcy. What'd you think about her?
She was funny and smart and basically filled Vision in on everything. So she let Vision know what was going on. She basically figured out exactly what was happening in the Hex, and basically just figured out everything for the story.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for her, they wouldn't have gotten anywhere, And I think the actress that played her, she actually did really good. I forget her name, but she played in Thor, And she was a much better character in this show than she was in Thor.
I see.
Yeah, much better. Trust me. So yeah, she did really good. I thought she played a solid role as well. And I would have loved to see her more, though, at the end. Right? Because she just kind of, she got stuck in that ice cream truck and she wound up running into Hayward. Wasn't that what she did? And then that's all you saw. And then they're like, oh, she just ran away. And it's like, that was a kind of lame ending when it came to her character. I would have loved to see more there, right? All right. So we talked about Darcy. Let's talk about Hayward. What did you think about that guy?
I think he was like the cunning villain of this whole thing. Because even though he wasn't the main villain, he tried to kill 2 innocent children. He tried to kill Wanda and Vision. But at the same time, he also figured out how to edit certain footage together to make even us, the viewers, make it seem like Wanda was a big villain by resurrecting Vision, even though that's not what happened.
That's true. I thought he was cunning in that way, but I think as a villain himself, like, he was kind of like, he was that very predictable villain. It was just like, okay, he's the one that set the plan into motion. It was all a setup, and then obviously he was going to get captured at the end. You know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of like, he was just kind of there. And he was kind of cheesy, though. Like, honestly, like, his acting, it was just like, oh, I'm going to stop you. And then, however, the one line about, what was that one line that he said that was kind of funny about the whole Vision thing? Oh, man, he was talking to Jimmy Woo.
He made a Vision pun.
Yeah.
I think he said something about expanding your vision.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh my God, that's kind of crazy. Okay, so we talked about Hayward, we talked about Agatha, so I guess we can consider this a villain because he was changed, and this is the White Vision. So when you saw White Vision, and you're the first time seeing this character, I've seen him before in the West Coast Avengers, so I knew that this character, when they showed that end credit scene, I knew who that character was. But what did you think when you first saw him and the way he acted and whatnot?
Well, when I first saw him, I thought it was a good idea for them to add a character like White Vision because they could do a lot with him and also resurrect Vision in the first place. But then he had one big part, and that was just killing Vision and talking about the ship of Theseus, which I doubt any of us wanted to hear about.
It was a way, but that's Vision. Like, he rationalizes and has intellectual conversation. That's what he is. Like, he's a robot, and he was reasoning with him. And then it was a great way to bring Vision back into the MCU, and paying tribute to the comic books, which I thought was cool. He basically brought back his memories. So now that we had the manifested Vision gone, we have Vision back, but he's just white and no longer has the Mind Stone anymore. But his memories are in his white body now, so we have him back. So where he went, I have no idea. Like, why would he just take off like that?
Yeah, towards the middle of the Vision fight, when they were done talking about the ship of Theseus, he got his memories back, broke out of the roof, and we didn't see him again.
Where'd he go?
He's gone.
Where, though? Like, why? Like, if he got his memories back, why would he not remember Wanda? Why would he not try to help her?
I don't know.
And I'm gone. Where? Who knows? So, I don't know. So, that's the White Vision. So, out of all the characters, now that we talked about them, we talked about most of them, at least. Who was your favorite character?
I think Agatha would be my favorite, just because it's magic and you can do anything with magic. You can come up with any kind of excuse for anything.
Right.
It was a good twist, and also she had some weird fighting tactics, like allowing herself to get hit to absorb the magic. And she also had a really good personality that was pretty funny, and it was a good twist.
The actress who played her actually played really well.
Yeah.
Because she was able to act out all these different parts from, you know, all the different years of the sitcoms, and she played all those different personalities really well.
Yeah.
And so, and I like Scarlet Witch, obviously, just because I've known her for the comics years and years, and the actress, was it Elizabeth Olsen? She does the character perfectly. And I love when she actually gets into her accent and she really digs deep into the character. The way she just, you know, does the magic, even though there's no real magic there, the way she moves her hands around and stuff like that is really cool. So, but both characters, I think, for me, were equally really well done. And again, I would love to see Monica Rambeau some more. You know, we're just scratching the surface with her. I think she definitely has some strong potential. And so that's that when it comes to our characters. So, what character would you like to learn more about in the future? Because I talked about Monica. So what would you like to learn more about?
Agatha.
I'll give you we'll find a bunch of Fantastic Four comic books that you can read, because that's where she makes her appearance.
But she could, she's going to make an appearance again, I think, because she said to Wanda, "You're gonna need me to learn the magic." And in the comics, I know she was a mentor to the Scarlet Witch so that she could learn her magic. So it would make sense for her to make an appearance in, I think, Doctor Strange. Wanda's gonna be in. And also the next Spider-Man movie.
Well, where do you think, like, where did Agatha go? Like, she changed her, right? But then when the magic went away, when the hex went completely away, like, where did Agatha go? And does she still have that mentality that she is, like, the neighbor next door, the nosy neighbor? Like, where did she go?
I don't know.
Just like Vision. Where the hell did he go? Where did he go? Where did Agatha go? There's so many questions still yet to be answered, and the show is over, right? So, interesting stuff. All right, so what was your favorite episode?
Probably the one where Agatha was revealed. Because...
What was that, episode?
I think it was like...
7?
It was episode 7.
Gotcha.
Because it was Agatha was revealed. It's what everyone has been waiting for since the first episode of the show, when everyone predicted that Agnes was going to be Agatha. And that's when the actual plot of the story started.
Right. All right, so my favorite episode was episode 8. That was the episode where they wound up going and seeing Wanda's entire history, from when she was a little girl to all the way to present day. And you learn that when she was a young girl, that she had powers. And when you have powers when you're that young, you're a mutant. So it shows that she's a mutant, right? Which we're slowly getting to the point in the MCU where we're getting mutants there, which I thought was kind of cool. And you get to see how the show was based off of sitcoms, because everything in Wanda's life, she went back to comfort because of the sitcom. The sitcoms were always there for her when everyone else was lost. So I thought that was brilliant. And learning all about that in that entire journey just made the show for me, right? For me, that felt like it was the season finale. Then the season finale was.
Yeah.
Right? So I really loved that. What was your least favorite episode?
Probably the first one, just because I'm not used to black and white television and just nothing happening throughout the entire episode.
Right.
The only thing that happened in that episode was that really weird part at the end where the guy started choking on his meatball.
Yeah, then you knew something was wrong, because she's just like, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha ha. So you know, like, there was a little bit of a loss of control there with Wanda, and then it's just like there was something off, right? And so, yeah, it was kind of weird. It definitely was weird, but they didn't want to reveal the powers and stuff like that. But I agree, the first episode had me really scratching my head, and I'm like, my thought was, this show's been in development for a very, very long time, and like, no matter what happens, I'm watching it all the way through, you know? So I agree. That first episode was a little bit, it was like, oh, I hope they're not all like this. And then it was like episode 2 was kind of like that. I'm like...
The difference with episode 2 is that in episode 2, there was color. The drone came in, It was color. Dottie's hand was bleeding when she broke the glass, and her blood was red.
Right, yeah. So there you got a little bit more stuff, and you noticed that something was going on. But you didn't realize that Wanda was behind all this, you know? So that's what was the whole mystery element. That's what made this show so unique. That's what I loved about it the most. Okay, so did you enjoy the season finale?
I liked the season finale. I thought it was really good. But nothing really happened. It was the final battle between Agatha. White Vision decided to go nowhere. Agnes, the transformed version of Agatha, again went nowhere, and then there wasn't really any twist or something that people were expecting to happen to lead into something else.
Right. The only thing you got was like Monica, where she could actually possibly go work with Nick Fury with Sword up there. You don't
space,
right, and then you don't get to see what happens with Darcy. You don't get to see what happens with Jimmy, right? Of course, you do get that character growth with Scarlet Witch. Remember, the show is focused around her, so she's the one that gets the character development in the show. So she's claimed as the Scarlet Witch. She gets the outfit. She has the book. She has all those things. She goes back to the mountains. I forgot the type of mountains. Do you remember the name? What was it? It goes back to the comic books where she's studying the book, right? And then obviously we get that, you know, that ending, that cliffhanger. But I would have loved to see more of a cliffhanger, like maybe a big bad, just a glimpse of him or something like that, or even Doctor Strange to get you pumped up for something the next show, or somehow, some way get it tied into. I don't know how you would do this, but like for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like somehow get those guys flying by or something like that. There was just nothing there to get you pumped up about the next thing, you know. But I guess the ending is supposed to maybe tie into the Doctor Strange multiverse thing. So that was that. Anything that you would want to see in the finale besides those little things that we talked about?
Just something to tie two shows together. I always thought that there would be like a couple of shows that were tied to Wanda Vision, and that would be a group of shows that followed a storyline, and then a group of shows that would follow the storyline of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But at this point, it looks like it's WandaVision, and it just ended.
Yeah, we'll see.
So I would have rather seen it go into another show and start piecing things together. From there,
yeah. Do you think there would be a WandaVision 2? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Unless it's going to do a second season of her learning more, but that doesn't seem likely.
You can't capture that uniqueness that the show had. And I think that's why you called it WandaVision to begin with, you know? It wouldn't be the same thing. It would be something completely different. Did you like the cut scenes at the end of the episode? So like the end credit scenes. Did you like them?
The end credit scenes were pretty good. They didn't reveal too much. They revealed White Vision, which was good. They revealed that Monica Rambeau was going to be the new Captain Marvel, or kind of.
Right.
But that seemed obvious anyway.
And you saw a scroll.
And then, we saw the scroll. But
who cares?
It's a scroll.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. And then you see that Wanda can duplicate herself. You see a really annoying kettle tea scene, and she was studying the Darkhold. We know that she's stronger than Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it was mentioned that she's stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme. Absolutely. All right, cool. And then, which Marvel show are you looking forward to the most going forward? There's a lot of them, but I want to know which one you're looking forward to the most.
I really want to say I Am Groot,
Shut up. You're not watching Groot.
But no, I'm more interested in Miss Marvel, because I want to see more of Monica Rambeau.
Are you? Okay, cool. I am most interested, and this has nothing to do with what we just watched, but I'm interested in She-Hulk. I think that show has some strong potential. I'm a huge fan of that particular character. I'm curious to see how they'll put Jennifer Walters on TV, if she'll be a lawyer, if she'll be funny, if she'll be, that strong woman that she is in the comic books. I'm really anxious for that particular show. And then I'm really curious on what Miss Marvel has to offer too. I think that could be a really great show for a younger audience. But the future is bright for Marvel, and I am excited that we got to see something on the screen, because we have not seen any Marvel movies in a long time, and this was a great substitute for a movie, right? And this felt like a movie. Even the credits felt like a movie.
Yeah.
Like, everything about it was a lot of fun. So overall, what do you grade this show from F to an A+?
I would say probably a B+, because it could still always be better, and the season finale could have done something more.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree with you 100%. B+ is my grade as well. I felt the show was very unique. There was a couple episodes in the beginning that were a little slow. It took time to develop the show a little bit, and then it got really good, and people were talking about it every single week. The speculation on all the comics were super hot, and then you get to the final episode, which was good, don't get me wrong, but I think people hyped it up so much that they were a little bit disappointed at the end. They didn't get that reveal that they were looking for a big character, and a lot of characters, you're just left with a lot of questions, and things weren't answered, and so it left you wanting a little bit more. So with that, do you have anything else to say?
Nope.
All right. So did you have fun overall doing this video?
Yes.
Yeah, this was awesome. I think it was a really good, really fun time, and maybe we'll do more of these with the next show, with Falcon and Winter Soldier. And guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that bell. And of course, if you like the content that you see right here, I'll leave you more content somewhere in this video, because B is there, and that's usually where the videos there are. So as always, guys, thank you for watching, and until next time, this is Mike Spider Slayer and signing off, and thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye.